Hey, what's up, guys? This is TBone here. Welcome back to another episode of playing Legendary Game Heroes. So, I wanted to talk about the current event, which is Sentinels of Korelis, and I wanted to share a couple of decks that I thought you could try and use. But I also wanted to say that, I still believe that it was a mistake to increase the health so high in our first Commander event with Gem Crush introduced. I just think that it really caused a lot of pain points. And so hopefully some of the ideas that I'm going to share here is going to be helpful. Now, I don't have a lot of different variety of decks, but I do plan to show you how to use the current event deck and also how to mix some of the other cards that are available. And also, if you don't have the event deck, what are some of the things that you can do, where can you farm, etc. So let's dig in and let's take a look. So if you're in a Karelian Crusade fight, so this one's a level 24 Karelian Crusade, what you want to do is you want to bring in an ally, the ultimate form for a current event as an ally. And what I'm using is 2 Master Collection cards, the ultimate form, ultra rare card, and also the support card. And depending on the enemies that you face, it's not too difficult. So what you want to do is just in the first wave, if it's like this multi enemies, just activate the 2 Master Collection cards so that you can get some of the some of the power gems on the board, and you generally should be able to deal enough damage just from the power gem match to be able to take them out. And same thing if it's going to be the next wave. If the next wave is also a multi-enemy wave, then you just need just whatever power gems are created here is going to be sufficient. But in this case, it's not. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a single delay. You never want to use all the delays all at once. You want to stagger them. And you bring in the support card here to help you fill up the holes in here. And then just do a power gem swap again. You just want to make sure that you can combine them into the largest possible. Now, generally with these mini bosses, it's going to take about a couple of hits. And in this case, what we can do is we can also let the afterburn take care of it. So we were able to deal enough damage there to take him out. And here, as I mentioned, all you have to do is use the power gems that you have that's created on the board to help you take them out. So what we're going to do is we're going to attack and then we will burn them. If it doesn't happen the first time, then the second attack should be good enough. We actually didn't do a very good job with the gem match earlier, so that's why we didn't deal enough damage. But you can save your battle skills. You can save your battle skills between waves. And so this way, when you really need it, you can then use it. And as you're going through the waves too, your intensity count is going to go up. And so once it reaches 150, that's when you're going to also create more power gems. And so when we have the wisp, that's good, because what we want to do is we just want to go ahead and use that. It's going to heal us so that we can go into the next fight fully fresh. Now we're on to the 5th wave, and this is going to be the boss. Now, depending on the type, the boss type, you're going to get different rewards also. And so this is going to be, this is Lucifer or Lucifel. And so what we're going to do is take a look at the board too. And you may not want to activate all of your battle skills right away, because in this particular case, if I were to activate my battle skills, I might actually end up crushing too many of them, and that's going to reduce my overall damage. And so I decided to just let that go for now, and I'll activate my battle skill the next time. And so as I'm attacking, I'm also going to be increasing my my afterburn damage also. And so we have enough room to create one more. And so here we have, I'm not going to activate the support card this time, but I am going to activate a delay here. And we're going to go ahead and do a power gem swap here. And this is going to be about the same. So we're going to go these two. So you want to look for the largest combination possible. And then with this, we should be able to deal enough damage plus the afterburn. So let's see. So with the afterburn, it was just almost enough to take it out. So we're just going to go ahead and do our match here. And then we could complete our wave here. So it's not too difficult if you have the full event team for the Karelian waves. Don't worry about the multi-waves, because I think as long as you can bring in the ultimate form as an ally, you should have no problems taking them out. So this team isn't the easiest to use, but it can be very effective. And so I'm going to show you how this is done. In the very beginning, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you match all the dark gems so that you can power up unit area. because she's going to provide you with immunity, which is going to be very important because the boss will hit you really hard. And so every 3 turns, you want to try and make sure that you have enough dark gem matches so that you can keep powering up. Every 3 turns, you want to be activating her skill. The other reason why you want to be activating her skill is whenever she gets hit, after you activate her skills, she's going to give all light commanders a boost. And that is going to power up your untamable twosome cards. And so here, one thing I'm also trying to do here is I'm also trying to increase the light commander intensity so that I can create more power gems from each of my cards. And so here I go ahead and activate my area again, but because I'm already getting some boost, anytime I deal damage from my untamable twosome, I'm getting a little bit of chip damage already, even though I'm not activating the power gems. So at this point, at 110, this is when we're going to activate all 3 cards first, because we need all 3 in order to get sufficient amount of power gems here. And sometimes what you want to be able to do is also match the swap the light and also the dark power gems, because they can help you get more multiplier. So you can see here we're close to hitting 10 trillion each card, so we have a pretty good first set of damage already. And then it's basically rinse and repeat. Now for the ultimate form on the far left here, you want to activate as you can, but you want to make sure that you don't activate it just before you are, you don't want to activate it the same turn as unit area, because you want to make sure that the boss hits you. You don't want to turn delay it. And so the key here is to manage your health and to wait for your battle skills to be available. The Untamable Twosome has a 4-turn cooldown, and so it's not exactly in line with unit area. But because the boost is for 3 turns, you can activate anytime you see the chevron there. And you notice that I only activated 2 cards here, because once the intensity gets high enough, you don't need to activate all 3. You could save the battle skill so that you can activate it 2 turns in a row. So you see here, I go ahead and activate the Untamable Twosome, and I can deal approximately amount of same damage here. So you can see here, even though I didn't match everything, I'm still able to get up to 150 for multiplier, and over 10 trillion each card. And so with this particular type of setup, if you do it right, you can easily get over 100 to even 200 trillion attack on a boss, which is a lot better than what you can get if you're using a event deck as is. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and see what we can do against diamond level bosses using a basic setup here. So what I have here is 2 support cards, 1 event card, and we have Divine Destinies and Dunkirk. Now these cards all have some nice abilities here. Divine Destinies was a card that we received as a mercenary boss, and she will create 1 light power gem at the beginning of every 3 turns for 4 turns straight, and then create additional power gems. Then we have Unstoppable Quack, which will create power gems, regular power gems based on the amount of chaotic intensity. And then Lumi will help you spawn a power gem every single turn, and also heal you as necessary, and also spawn regular gems. Dunkirk the Drifter is an event card that will create 5 light power gem 2s for the next 2 turns. So basically what you'll get is power gem 2s and then regular gems at the beginning of 2 turns. So you're getting some passive spawns, and but what you're doing is you're bringing in the ultimate form as the ally so they can power up all of these cards. So it's almost the same as if you have one on your own, so you don't really need to have this. And the key here is, finding that right setup so that you could farm at the platinum level or at the diamond level, because you need to have a stronger team for Korelium, but the goal here is to try and farm as high as possible at the diamond level. So at the beginning, what we're going to do is we're going to activate the cards that will continuously spawn for us once we activate their battle skill, and that's going to be Dunkirk and Divine Destinies. And then we're going to do a power gem match, making sure that we're swapping the highest level power gems, which is going to be the power gem 5s. And let's see if we can take out the waves. So the amount of power gems that we have on the board is sufficient for us to take out the regular waves. And so what's going to be challenging are going to be the mini bosses. And so if we take a look right now, so we have these power gems, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and do another power gem swap right now, and then see if we deal sufficient damage with the attack, the damage boost from the ultimate form and just from our power gems here. Keep in mind, this is a diamond level Crusade map here, all right? And so we are definitely doing okay with a basic setup. And if you don't have Divine Destinies or if you don't have Dunkirk, it's okay. The goal here was for me to look for something that you may have in your arsenal, but really getting any sort of power gen spawner that has a relatively low cooldown that you have in your deck would be sufficient. And so we're going to go ahead and use the ultimate form now so that we can get ourselves a turn delay. And then we're going to use Quack, which gives us 4 power gems. And then we're going to use Lumi here so that we can fill out the board a little bit without without getting the gems crushed. And I think the best option right now is going to be this right here, and we're going to see how much damage we can deal. Now we may not be able to take out the boss right away, and that's okay, that's to be expected, but we're able to chip it down to about almost half. All right, and so we're going to go ahead and continue this, and we're going to continue to do our power gem swaps here. So what we want to do is we want to do a power gem swap, and what we're gonna do is continue to use our battle skills, and this should be fine. Like we should have enough health to last the damage, and you can see here just one more big attack, and we will be able to take out the boss no matter what, because we also have the passive ability from the ultimate form that we borrowed that will have the afterburn to deal half of the damage to the boss here. So using this setup, we could still successfully farm the diamond level crusade maps. That still gets you a good amount of trophies. So let's take a look and see how much we can get there. And so that will give you 4.5 trillion million trophies every time. And depending on the mini bosses that you face, sometimes you'll get additional trophies. And you can also use this opportunity to farm some Korelium guild boss keys so that you can then tag the Karelian bosses. If you don't have the full event team, diamond is going to be the way that you want to go. And this type of setup, as long as you have the right leader as an ally, you should be perfectly fine. So earlier we talked about farming at the diamond level for crusade maps, but it is a different story for guild bosses because the diamond guild boss is a lot tougher. The health is a lot higher at 33 trillion health, and so the same team setup isn't going to really work. Also because there is gem silence. So gem silence is an issue here because the only current event team that has it is the Ultra Rare card or the Ultimate Form. Those are the only 2 cards that can dispel it. And so if you don't have the team, then what can you do? Well, let's take a look at what some of the other gem silence dispellers there are. There are a lot actually. So what's in my arsenal, if you can take a look, there's like various ones that are of different affinities. We have a Warden, which is Lita. So Lita is okay, creates a power gem 3 if you have it at 6 stars. And we also have Reiki. Reiki is okay because it creates, what it does is it will create 3 power gem once, and it will also heal for a little bit. And so if you have that card, that's also an option. What I do like though is I have Turia. So Turia also helps with the heal, and it creates power gem 4s. So Turia was a card that is also available from a seasonal reward. And so I'm going to go ahead and pull this in. Now, Turia has a 4-turn cooldown, so it's going to be a little bit off compared to the rest of the cards that we have. And so we have a choice when we want to play with this deck. So I'm using 2 support cards and 2 event cards here. And so usually when you play with cards that are mismatched in terms of the power, the cooldown, well, you have to sort of decide like what's more important. Is it, like what are you using the card for? Well, in this case, we're using Turia also for its power gem. And so I think what we want to do is we want to wait 1 extra turn for Turia to be available so that we could use them all at the same time. Another option is to simply just play whenever the battle skills are available, and then we can just kind of let it catch up. And so what we're going to do here is we're just going to activate everything and see how much damage we can deal in a single attack. So this is about the most damage we can do, and so we can see that it deals close to about 350 billion or so. And so we need to be able to do this quickly so that we can get the maximum amount of damage here. And so here, what we're going to do is, like we said, we're going to wait 1 more turn so that we can activate everything together. So essentially, we're doing 3 turns without activating, and then we're going to do everything all at once. And as we increase our chaotic intensity, we're also going to be getting more power gems from Quack, even though we're only growing at 1 for every 250. But having 2 here, we could at least make it go a little bit higher. And so Sometimes if you don't get all of the matches together, it's okay. I think it's more important, given sort of the team that we have. We want to try and make sure that we are optimizing for time, so that we don't end up losing too much of the time that we need in order to take out the boss here. So we're going to continue to play here, and also try to save your power gems if possible, because your support card is going to passively create power gems as well, so it's going to help when you can finally activate everything. And so we're going to go ahead and activate our cards here, and so we're also at 250 intensity, so you can see now our board is filling up with power gems, which is really good. And we're going to go ahead and just do a gem swap here, and we're going to see how much damage we can deal here. So here that was much better. I would say we hit about 800 or so billion, and so we are able to bring it down to less than half. So it's not going to be able to take down the boss in a single fight, but considering that we're using sort of more cards that are not as strong, I think that this is okay. Like, so what you can do is you can use the same setup and you can farm a lot more keys from platinum. One of the goals here is if you can farm at a certain level and you can take out the guild boss using those keys, then you can continue to help contribute and to also provide trophies there. And so if you can't go any higher, I think platinum is a good level to be focused on. So this is going to be it for me for the teams I'm going to show for the bosses. Now, there are a lot of cards I didn't include in here because what I wanted to do was show the basic setup. And this way, if you have other cards that are better, you can always replace them and then improve your damage output. Some of the other cards I didn't include, which I want to call out, are Inked Contingent, which is a past ultimate form that is also Chaotic Killer. And then there's Haunted Hunters, which is the previous Commander Event deck that is also relatively strong and can create power gems over the course of 3 turns. It's currently also on sale in the Revival Vault. And then there's Light, Hope, and Justice, which is a deck that is capable of dispelling a lot of debuffs and also create a lot of power gems. So if you have any of these combination cards, hopefully you're already using them, and hopefully with some of the tips I provided, it can help you with your event. So I would love to hear your feedback about some of the changes that they made this particular event. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and hopefully this is something, this video can help you unblock yourself in some of the levels. So that's going to be it for me. Thank you, take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye now.